Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Real Arsenal Talk with Larry and Stevie. Stevo, how you doing? How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, mate. Let's just get straight into it. I'm not very happy. I was raging yesterday, as you well know. But in general, you know, I have calmed down, which I did say I would. But we've loads to talk about. But yes, yourself?
I mean, yeah, you weren't kidding. Straight into it. Straight into this bullshit that we have to talk about.
Yeah, fuming.
It's just the way that our team works, isn't it, really? You know, we're used to it now. We should be used to it by now, but it still hurts. It still really hurts. And but yeah, I mean, look, apart from that, how was the overall weekend? Anything interesting happen whilst you weren't watching football?
Not really. Job-wise, I don't know if I told you last time, obviously. Sorry, big shout out to Jay, who's just subscribed, by the way.
Heyo.
On our channel, yeah. Yeah, so job-wise, obviously, I'm training to be a driving instructor. I don't know if I told you. You
did mention that you were looking into it, but I didn't think you did. That's very good. That's excellent. So all qualified and everything, or you're in the training process of it?
Training, yeah. So passed the first theory one just before Christmas, and yesterday. So my next part's not due till March, and it's due after my birthday, believe it or not. And yeah, so it's like a driving test really, and then once I've passed that, I can effectively take pupils out. I can't charge the full amount, but anyway, yes, it's something to look forward to, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm doing all right, mate. Yeah,
it's that. I like that. I honestly, I thought about doing a driving instructor a while ago before I moved down here, but it was just the initial cost fees of everything, as obviously as you're experiencing yourself. So, but yeah, I mean, I like it. I like cars, and there's nothing better than teaching something that you love.
Mate.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that as well, of course, in terms of the actual work itself. Yeah, that's brilliant. So if anyone's looking to learn how to drive, avoid Middlesbrough.
Avoid Vineyard.
Yeah, no, for sure. But no, that's really good though. Hopefully by March.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get that passed and sorted. But
yeah, there's three parts to it. So I'll pass the first. My second one's in March, and then I can't take my third, which is basically being a driving instructor. And I can't take that one until I've passed 2. So yeah, so it's a potential long road, but obviously I'm getting there, and hopefully this year, sometime middle of the year, I'll be qualified.
It's a qualification that will serve handy, not just working for another, driving sort of company, but even if it's your own thing that you want to do eventually, that's it gives you, like you said, it gives you a bit of flexibility and something to even potentially just sort of fall back on in a sense, right? Because people are always going to want to learn how to drive, and there's always going to be openings for that. So no, that's good, and obviously good luck. But we will obviously chat between now and then. So I'll be in the loop, but we'll keep people in the loop as well. Okay, well, unfortunately, that's where the laughter stops. Just dead. That's it. Sawed out. Cut it off. Head. Bye. Look, Stevie. At the risk of this whole podcast sounding like something we've just like a compilation of other podcasts that we put together, we're going to try and keep it as fresh as we can without talking the same shit that we've been worried about for a long time, and that we've been seeing, especially in the Premier League, of course. But I'll tell you what, then we'll start off on a real positive. Obviously, we beat Inter, which is another demon slaying from last season. I'm happy about that. Obviously, I wish it was the time when I was at San Siro that they won by that amount. But either way, I'm not going to be too mad. So yeah, it looks like we're going to finish the Champions League group flawlessly, if unless we field out kids, like literal Arteta's kids and the rest of even the newborns. So we should realistically, what is it, 8 out of 8 matches, isn't it? I think that's how many we play. Is it 8 matches or 7 matches?
We play 8, yeah. We won 7 out of 7. Yeah.
So I'm genuinely happy about that, to be honest. So Champions League form is good. It's happening, and we're not conceding many goals. I think this is the second one, is it, or a third one in the Champions League? Second one, I think, isn't it?
I think it's the third, isn't it?
Is it third? It is third. You're right. It is third. So yeah, I can't complain about that. Maybe the style of football that we're playing, it suits European football. I don't know, but unfortunately, it is not translating in the Premier League, where we've had, from the last 3 games, we've had 2 draws and a defeat. So it's poor as far as I'm concerned. And considering, by the way, that it is the run-up, or coming up to the run-up, and we're in the same exact spot, same position that we've been in for the past 3 years. So I said to you in a message, I am genuinely tired now. I'm bored more than anything. I'm tired and bored, because it always comes down to one thing, and I think we agreed that is mentality. But please, I want to know your initial thoughts just before going into the match. Like, what did you anything that sort of stood out to you? Yeah,
the crowd. I think I mentioned to you before, and I know I've said this many a times, that there seems as though there's too much pressure on the players from the crowd. It's transmitting to the crowd. It's transmitting to the players, and it's making everything that we do rushed and nervous, because unless we go 2-0 up, if we score first and then the other team seem to put a bit of pressure on, it's like, I have a feeling that our home form, I know we say our home form was like great, and it was great up until yesterday, but I just think our home form could cost us the title. Our away form's great because the fans are brilliant, they stand behind the team regardless of what happens, and there's less pressure because it's all on the onus on the home team. So that was my initial thoughts when I was watching it, and I could sense, and the pressure kept building and building. But it wasn't just over one game, it has been coming over the course of the season, hasn't it? We've said it time and time again, the fuck about with it at the back, and it just doesn't seem right, and other teams have cottoned onto it, and it doesn't take a genius to work it out that we do mess about with it. Gabriel, to me, Saliba, to be fair, I thought he's fantastic personally yesterday. I thought, out of all of them, he could hold his head up high. I thought his marauding runs, he took the game by the scruff of the neck, and he was like, leading out of defence. But I think that, and Capier was good as well. Obviously, I know he did come off, but Gabriel and Timber didn't really.
No
one did really, did they?
No,
I just think it was just horrible, mate. Horrible.
It was, and I think, just to cut in there, when you mentioned Gabriel and Timber, I thought they were probably the weakest of our back line. Saliba, spoiler alert, I think probably shout of man of the match for Arsenal, not overall for the match. Sorry, yeah, for man of the team, yeah. Right? So yeah, but the rest of them, yeah, I have to agree with you. And again, look, I don't want to dive too much, because most of the stuff that we saw is stuff that we've seen before and we've commented on before. But it was the one thing that stood out to me. What caught my eye was Declan Rice's performance, which was probably the poorest I've seen Declan Rice in an Arsenal shirt, right? I don't know, maybe if I'm just overreacting to that, but I genuinely thought he had such a poor game. His touches were poor. His passing was not even close to what Declan Rice, not even close to like a Fulham player's abilities. You know what I mean? It was terrible. And I think overall that made the difference, because our two midfielders in Rice and Zubimendi, they just were not performing at all. And obviously the fact that Zubimendi was taken off just after half time, it shows a lot, really. And I think that was sort of the downfall. They just ran straight through our midfield, and they met a Gabriel that wasn't up to par at all, and obviously Zubimendi, who was meant to protect them, they just didn't. They weren't up to scratch. And look, I tell you what, let's start from the lineup real quick. Anything that stood out to you? Were you happy with the team on paper? Anything that you would have changed?
Yeah, 100%. Gyokeres should have started, but this is, again, we always go back to, I see it as he gets the team selection wrong for the opposition, and I do think that Gyokeres should have started, and I think Madueke should have started, and I thought Martinelli should have started. What do we know, really? But that's just my own personal opinion. I thought that the defence it sort of picks itself, and I'm glad Nketiah came back. I didn't really like the fact that Odegaard started, because, as you well know, his last sort of few performances have been very, very poor. You know, and it's a theme, it's a trend, and I don't know if you look at the statistics that when he plays, that we rarely, barring the Villa game, he's so ineffective, and he has been, and it was probably one of his. And I mean, if you think Rice was bad, Odegaard was way below that.
The fact that fact that the captain was hauled off, I mean, that says a lot. Really.
What does that say?
Yeah,
what does that say?
Yeah.
You know, you just don't bring a captain off ever, because he's the one that galvanises the team. And before long, like we've said, you know, Rice has got to be captain regardless. They've got to come together and go, look, Deck, we've all agreed you're the captain, and we want you to take responsibility, because it's not working with Odegaard. We've said it, and the game passed him by yesterday. He was absolutely terrible, and he has been for the last God knows how long. But yeah, technically he's not a bad little player, but he's not good enough, certainly not for a team for the Champions League and the Premiership. But yeah, overall, I think those the front three should have been completely different. They were so poor. You know, Trossard played okay the first 20 minutes. You know, I'll have to give him that. But after that, you know, I can't believe he stayed on for the whole. Was he on for the whole 90 minutes or? I can't remember.
Let me check. Hold on, because I have it up here.
I remember seeing him very late on, thinking, "Bloody hell, is he still on?"
So Trossard was taken off at 75th minute for Madueke.
75th.
Yeah, 75th for Madueke.
Right,
okay. Look, Stevie, Odegaard, I thought it was bossed from Manu and Casemiro, really. Like, I think Casemiro probably had one of his better games in a very long time, and it's shit that it's happening against us, and unfortunately it was just something that we even discussed beforehand, where I think it was last week's pod, where we said, you know, potentially this is going to be a loss. It could have been anything.
Could have. Yeah, I said it. I think if you remember, I said it could have been. I said 2-2 off the top of my head. And I said, but we could win it and we could lose it. It's one of those fucking toss of the coin games where if we don't turn up, we'll get beat. If we do turn up, we'll win. It was just horrible.
And it was, in fairness, it was 2-2, and then they decided they wanted to win it more than us, which was such a kick in the teeth. But look, I know I'm jumping ahead, but when Cunha came on, and you can vouch for this because I sent you the message straight away, didn't I? I was like, he's the guy that's going to end this match, and unfortunately, my prediction came true, and
I think I said he scored. I said, if you look at you said he's going to end the match, and I said he'll score.
Yeah.
And we both knew, didn't? And he actually said at the end, yeah, it's effing me again.
Yeah. It's and the thing is, what sort of adds more disappointment to it is the fact that both of these players, in Mbeumo and Cunha, were available for us to buy.
Exactly.
And we didn't have to waste any time or any resources or energy to get Gyokeres in when we did. And again, I know I'm talking in hindsight, and I know everyone was excited when we brought him in, so I'm not gonna contradict myself. I'm not gonna be that guy. But when you have those two types of players who are very proven in the Premier League, and there's a reason why United bought them, because say what we want about them, they do buy decent-ish players, or they have.
They do. I mean,
players
Cunha's 100 times better than Odegaard. 100 times.
I think so, and again, he's the type of player. He's very dangerous, like we've said before. Like a player like a Firmino, and like him. What's his face? Rest in peace, who just passed away. Diego Jota. Yeah. So these were the players that put fear into me. Every time I saw them come on, I was like, yeah, these guys are gonna slap us about. And Cunha does the same. And I know people are gonna laugh at me, going, "Oh, Cunha, who is he?" sort of thing. He's the type of player that will basically do it just to piss off.
He's a Semenyo type player. He's not similar, because obviously Semenyo's a winger, but he's a player that you can't get the ball off.
That guy scored twice, didn't he? Did he score twice over the weekend, Semenyo? Or was it just once?
He's got one.
Just the one. Yeah, I mean, let's not talk about Semenyo, because that's very, very sad. That's terrible.
The only way we can redeem ourselves if we get Alvarez, but we're not going to sign anyone this transfer window. We know that. We've said that.
Not January. Not January. Definitely
we're not signing anyone, are we? That we can forget that unless Havertz is out for the season, then he might consider go and get someone shite. But you can forget anyone getting signed this unless it's a fucking defender or something. But yeah, forget it.
Which most likely will be a fullback, wouldn't it? So
yeah.
And look, I'm looking at the stats as well, and one shot on target is just in the first half. Sorry, one shot on target was just terrible, because after the first sort of 15-20 minutes, which I genuinely thought we played really well. I thought we were going to smash them up, to be fair. But then they sort of like figured out what was happening with the way that we were playing, and they just sort of, again, I feel like Mainu and Casemiro were the unsung heroes in a sense, because I know Maguire got the man of the match, and obviously Cunha scored and all that stuff, but I feel like them two in that position, sort of in front of the defenders, and doing what Rice and Zubamendi were meant to do, I thought they were really good, and they just nullified our midfield to the point where Rice just didn't know what to do, because does he cover Odegaard, does he cover Zubamendi, does he cover his own position? They were all over the place, and I just after that first 20 minutes, that's when things again started creeping in, where you think, why do we keep doing the same thing? And I was listening to, or I just started to listen to my sort of weekly Arsenal podcast that I listen to, and they were at the stage, or the host was at the stage, Andrew, where he was saying that, I didn't like what I was seeing, and this is the mentality. And unfortunately, these guys have been praising Arsenal throughout all this season, and every single player, and Saka and whatnot. And now it feels like they're coming around to what we've been seeing, what we've been discussing. And it's not us being negative from the beginning. It's just, it's reality. It's reality. And I think yesterday showed it. When you get people like Patrick Vieira, who who's an Arsenal legend and invincible, saying that the mentality is not good enough, is not strong enough. You got to take that seriously. You have to take that seriously, and you don't even have to. Sorry, I was going to say, you don't even have to listen to him. You need to do is just watch pressure matches like the Man United match yesterday. That was a pressure match because City won. We could have been 7 points, but we're not. So I think that the mentality is the thing that's going to kill us. And I think I can't remember, maybe an earlier podcast from this season where I think the title was something to do with mentality, and it's the same thing again. And that's why I said to you at the top, I feels like we're going to repeat ourselves, but let's just try to keep it as fresh as possible. But yeah, so first half, we get a goal. We go 1-0, and then
it was coming, wasn't it? I thought the goal was coming. It was a build up with pressure, and it was just a matter of time. But if you look at the goal, it stemmed from a ball in the box, and I know they alluded to it on Sky Sports, and we've been saying it. We don't get enough balls into the box. What's the point? We just recycle, pass back, and decent teams know how to play against us. And it's been evident for, obviously, Forest did it against us, obviously Liverpool did it against us, and now Man United did it against us. And decent teams figure out, and you'll get away with it the odd time with the set piece and stuff like that. But we've been saying it for so long, and it's so obvious and evident that nothing's going to change. And unfortunately, like you say, we'll end up not winning anything because of it. And well, anyway, get back to the game. Sorry, what you were saying, the first sort of half an hour we were dominant, we got the goal, and in general the whole match, other than the 3 shots that they had, they didn't have any other shots, so we didn't. The negativity is there, obviously. We all know the negativity and stuff on the goals and the way the game ended. But we controlled most of it. It's just that the midfield. I don't know about yourself. When our defenders had the ball, they knew how to play us in midfield. They had all our midfield. They were like a diamond in midfield, and we could not get out. We couldn't feed our forwards. Every time it was going to Saka, it was coming back to him. Saka was just, I don't know if you saw it, Saka was just hitting random balls to no one. The ball was coming to him, and he was like knocking them off. Just control it. But the game was frustrating. But yeah, I know what you're going to say about first 30 minutes is great.
No. We can't keep using that as an excuse. That's not what wins a game, really. So let's not go crazy with that type of stuff. But what I was going to say was that even the first goal that we got, it was an own goal, right? And okay, yeah, all right, I'm all about let's take goals whenever and however we can get them, which is fine. But as we've discussed before, many times, it's not sustainable to do it that way. You know, to just basically cross the ball in and then hope either one of our players is going to get a head in or it's going to bounce off one of their players, for an own goal. It's the lack of open play that we're just not creating enough, especially in the Premier League. So, and that's the downfall, really, isn't it? That's the negativity where you said as well, like, we're not sort of crossing balls into the box anymore. Like Odegaard's not doing the little chips into the box that he used to do. Maybe that's where Havertz needs to come in. I'll put Gyokeres on, like you said. Why wasn't Gyokeres playing from the top of this match? He's strong enough to go up against Maguire and a Martinez, for example. He wouldn't just bust him around. So yeah, it was on paper. Just real quick on the team, on the starting lineup. On paper, I feel it was good enough. But at the same time, now listen to what you were saying as well. I will have to admit that someone, again, we're talking hindsight, like a Martinelli and a Gyokeres and a Madueke instead of Saka would have been just the perfect foils up front sort of thing. That would have allowed the Rice to come into the box and the Zuberman to come into the box. But it unfortunately didn't play that way, and that 1-0 all of a sudden became 1-1, and it was just a great goal from sorry, was it Mbeumo that scored from the outside? Was it Dorgu? Which goal?
Got the second one, yeah.
That was from the outside, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dorgu got the second one in the top corner. And obviously, Mbeumo got the mistake.
That's right, yeah. So, it 1-1 at that point, you kind of think, all right, let's see what we're all about. And then we just weren't about anything. We just were not about anything. And even though they didn't have sort of much after that anyway, or just before that, they still felt frightening to go up against. But I'm glad that it just finished, that first half finished 1-1. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, just not enough. And looking at the stats of the first half, just literally not enough. Apart from the own goal and them equalising, not really much happened. It was just horseshoeing around in a way. As we do. And again, I don't know whether it's just nerves or whether they're tired or. What's your theory? Like, give me anything at this point, really. Anything at this point.
Anything. I know. We're like as bad as the team. We are recycling everything that we've thought all season. Do you know what I mean? It's like the team are recycling the ball. They're not playing with any freedom. We've said it how many times? They're not playing with freedom. They're not going for it. They're not thinking, right, let's just go and win this game. Not worry about this, that, and the other. It's like the freedom is the fear. The fear is engulfed the whole team again. It's like every time we play second, we can. When we're playing first on Saturday this week, but he'll probably get the team selection wrong. He'll probably play Madueke and Martinelli. I think you should stick with the three that he started with yesterday, because I think Saka will be better at Leeds. I think Trossard will be, and I think Jesus will be. I know for a fact, and you'll mark my words, he'll change the front three and he'll play with Gyokeres, Madueke, and Martinelli. Completely wrong, but no. What am I trying to say? What are we talking about? Any hope? No, there's no hope. It's just going to be like this till the end of the season, because Arteta will not change. He's dumb. He's numb, dumb, and naive, negative, Lego, square, whatever you want to call him. He is.
No, keep going. I want to hear some more.
He is. He's robotic, naive, negative. Inexperienced. He's only. Areola or someone like that who's had experience in the past. We've said it all along. Someone who knows how to change a game up will tactically be aware of the way that the opposition are playing, or how to change it mid-game. Not, let's just throw 4 players on like he did. I thought that was completely and utterly uncalled for. Let's just try and change it with 4 players. The fucking team didn't know what they were doing. You could see it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm glad that you brought the 4 changes up, because at a first glance you think, oh yeah, he's done good there. He's made the changes, but then you think,
White,
it's got a hint of desperation that you're throwing in 4 players at the same time, and one of them shouldn't even be playing, like you said before. It's
Marino, White. They're hardly game changers. Do you know what I mean? Marino, fuck's sake, White right back. Marino, a fucking mobile chicane. Fucking hell.
No, that first goal that they scored, by the way, just again, I don't really want to talk too much about it because it's just sad. It's Zubimendi obviously at fault for just ridiculous
doing it a lot
pass.
though, isn't he? He's been guilty of that a few times.
Yes, yeah, and it is a point that we have raised before, even in his good performances. We have raised points before. It's like he's given the ball away in some crazy dangerous areas, and unfortunately he got caught out yesterday. And
did it against Spurs once, springs to mind.
Yeah, I think that's literally when we actually discussed it. To be fair, so yeah, it's that was 100% a mistake. So it's not like it's not like they deserved to be even at the end of the first half. But that's it. They took the chance. The correct player was there that picked up the ball, and he did it. And again, because I had my son on me, I was looking down, and then when I look up, all I saw was David Raya out. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But then, so to my wife, I was like, Raya, oh my God, trying to hold my anger in. And then I saw the replay, I was like, oh, Raya had nothing to do with that. It was actually Zubimendi who just literally just passed the ball to him. Or tried to anyway. But yeah, so I think it was, I don't want to say, well, it was a deserved goal from them because, like I said, it definitely wasn't. But at the same time, they took the opportunity. So end of first half, and then Dogu scores a brilliant goal, by the way, like just fantastic goal.
I don't mind him. I think he's a decent player.
I think he's a good player as well. I think so, and I think he was probably wasted under Amorim, to be honest, because you didn't really hear much from him. And I've got Man United fans at work that we just we chat during coffee sort of thing, and I said to him, I said, look, Dog was a good player. And they're like, oh well, he hasn't shown himself. I was like, well, if he's not really playing in his favourite position or in his stronger position, then you're never really going to see the top players perform. Again, look at Arteta and the way that he uses, well, all of them, especially Eze. So yeah, I think he's a good player, and he was really good yesterday. He was I thought he was brilliant, to be fair, and he deserved that goal. I thought, again, another great finish. Can't be mad at that. It just, I don't want to say right time, right place or anything like it, because he did have to strike that ball, sort of accurately, if you will. But again, it was open enough to do it. Gabriel didn't close him fast enough, or it was Gabriel, wasn't it? That didn't.
Yeah, he was culpable for both goals.
Yeah. So it's and I think, when was it? Last Premier League game when he made that mistake, was it against Chelsea? I think where he made the mistake, we sort of passed it back, and Evan Nilsson, I think Bournemouth, wasn't it? I think it was Bournemouth.
Yes.
And then Evan Nilsson picked it up. So again, a couple of mistakes, and I don't want to say that you're 100% right, but you said it right at the beginning of the season there. He could really be our downfall, and it seems it could be playing out that way. But yeah, so obviously Dogu makes it 2-1, and judging from what I saw from the first half, or the end of the first half, I really didn't have much hope that we were going to get anything out of it. Potentially maybe sneak a draw right at the end, like with a corner or something, but I didn't think we had enough to beat them. And I was watching the match sort of almost with my hands in my face. But yeah, and then he makes the 4 changes. White, Gyokeres, Marino, and Eze come on for Nkapie, Jesus, Odegaard, and Zubimendi. And all the players that came off, barring Nkapie, were pretty poor. And I think we share that thought, to be fair, don't we? So yeah, and
100%.
And honestly, I don't know. I really don't get why Marino keeps coming on. And I know people will be like, "Well, yeah, but he scored in the end." It's like, okay, he scored, but then you look back at the goal. There's still a deflection there. I know it would have been anyway, but there's still a deflection there. Sorry, 2 seconds, Steve, because I think he's trying to reconnect. Are we okay? Are we all right?
Yeah. It went a bit grainy, but I don't know. Trying to reconnect my side as well.
Okay, because I was going to say I'm on full bars here, so I'm hoping nothing crazy. Can you hear me all right? You can hear me okay?
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
cool,
no worries.
Come back to so yeah, sorry, we're back from technical difficulties as always. And what do you make of the players that came on? Any standouts? Anything to worth discussing that we haven't discussed before?
I was quite surprised that I saw Eze running. At one point, he did actually track back. I don't know if you saw that, and I was like, bloody hell, that looks so wrong. He was actually sprinting.
Did he lose the ball though?
I thought he did.
I think he lost the ball. That's why he chased back, and I think that was the only reason that he chased back. But yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I thought to be fair, he didn't do too bad. when he was better than what he has been. But I do think he's a better player if he starts, and I think he should start over Odegaard. But whether that's another conversation, and that's what Mikel Arteta is going to have to, if he's got anything about him, he has to make some serious decisions. But yeah, Gyokeres, he did okay. Again, I think Gyokeres should have started over Jesus. Again, that's Arteta's decision. Whether he got it wrong, possibly he did, because like you say, they bossed us from there with Jesus. He doesn't have that physical presence. Marino, fuck's sake, honestly, mate, it's like, yeah, I do honestly believe I was going to say the French connection. It's not. It's the Spanish connection. Honestly, it definitely is that. Sorry, because he's absolutely shit. Yeah, he scores a goal, but other than that, he's useless. And Ben White, yeah, I mean, I don't know what can I say about Benny Blanco. He's just a bit of an average, shitty performance, really. But again, the whole team was shit. So it's like, I don't want to single out anyone individually apart from Odegaard.
And Rice, I think, honestly.
Rice and probably Gabriel. I think them three, to me, were the...
Timber,
Saka.
I'd say Timber as well. I'd include Timber in that as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the whole team. Really. The whole team, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's pointless to do any player ratings or any sort of, because there's only probably one in the good category, which was Saliba, and then everyone else was just absolutely garbage.
I saw Big Robbie from AFTV. I saw I don't normally agree with his player ratings, but I had to laugh when he gave Odegaard a 1. Which is really, really strange coming from him. I mean, obviously he's our captain. I think he got a 1. I think Declan got a 2, and I think it might have been. I think Jesus might have got a 1 as well, or something like that. But I was like, wow. Don't normally agree with him, but he gave everyone shit. I don't know who his man of the match was.
No, I didn't see that. I did see one thing about from AFTV. It was one of their posts that they put out, and it was that. Since you brought them up, it was that the handball incident when Maguire was falling, and he seemed like he handled it. Now they were crying out, "Oh, why isn't this? And can you explain to me how this isn't a handball?" Now, I want to know your thoughts. By the way, like, what did you think of that? Obviously, if it was given, no one's going to say no to it. But it was just something that you felt was injustice, or was it the right call from the ref?
Their argument is that he's falling, so where can he put his hand? So it's 50-50 to me. I wouldn't like to say I can imagine us going against us if it had been, I don't know, Saliba falling over. I can imagine us, conceding the penalty. But I'd have been a bit upset if that had been against us and they'd give it personally, because he was falling down. Where could he have gone? But I've seen them given, and against us they probably would have given it, but who knows? I don't know about you. I think by sensing it, you don't think it should have been.
No, and the reason I don't think so is because I think it was Odegaard last season, maybe possibly,
season before against Liverpool.
Was it against Liverpool where he fell and he handled it as well? So, and that wasn't given. So I just feel like it was a similar situation, and it was a natural position because he fell, and so I think that's probably best. But what was it, the Chelsea game that it seemed like a controversial penalty that they gave? Ball was kicked and it struck the player's arm, but it looked like he struck his hip first and then his arm. But because obviously the ball was going in, that's why they gave the penalty, because it was a mistake.
Then they give him a yellow.
That's right. Yeah, they gave him a yellow. Was it Chelsea game? I think, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
So again, that I don't really care for that either, to be honest, because if it hits your body and the way that your arm's moving, it's like one fluid motion. Do you know what I mean? Unless he's specifically put his arm out to stop the ball, then fair enough, give him the yellow card or give the penalty. But to be like, oh yes, it was an accident, but that accident prevented the ball going in. It's like, well, you can't have it both ways. It just seems like a very ambiguous sort of thing. So going back to I think the right call was made. Again, I would have been happy if we got it, but at the same time, it's not like I was crying out for it like AFTV were, and there's probably going to be people that are going to disagree with us anyway, but that's just the way I looked at it. I don't think there was anything more to it, to be honest. Just real quick, speaking of sort of penalty incidents, there was the incident of Martinez donkey punching Jesus. Was it Jesus in the back of the head?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What the fuck, man? That should have been looked at. I'll be honest with you, because he had his fist closed and he swung. You can visibly see his arm swinging out, and that should have been a penalty. I don't know how you felt about that one.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of history with Jesus, hasn't he? I think not last year, it was the season before. I think when we played them at Old Trafford, there was I think obviously because the Brazilian, the Argentinian hatred there, but I think it's because he was going out of play. Not that it matters, but I think because Jesus and they were both falling out of play, where they're both going out of play, and yes, it probably was a bit reckless, a bit dangerous, but I can see why nothing was given really. I think it was just waved away, which I think, it wasn't as though he was looking at him and he punched him. I personally don't think there was anything with it. I know he hit him on the head, but
I honestly, I definitely see your point, but my argument would also be, he's the type of player that will do that type of stuff. So
yes, he is. He's a dirty twat. He's always been a picture of fucking Ajax or wherever he was. Wherever he was
so my point is that you can only give a player the benefit of the doubt up to a certain point before you think, right, okay, you are a bit of a twat now, so I'm gonna have to have a look at that again, because it definitely seemed like you swung for the back of his head. So again, look, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, because we didn't get that as a penalty, we lost. No, it's just by the by sort of thing. It's just point of discussion because, a contentious point as far as I'm concerned with it. But it is what it is. I felt the ref had a decent-ish game. I don't think there was anything wrong with what he was doing. Ben White, he took the piss when he came on with his throwings, which
oh my god,
it honestly makes me mad to no end. It makes me so mad, because it's like, right, we are not that team. Okay, it's not like we're 4-0 up and then you're just taking the piss and whatever. That's fine. It's funny for everyone. You are trailing and you need the win, and you're pulling off this absolute garbage. I don't know why they keep doing it and why they keep getting told to do it. It's
It's so stressful, isn't it?
It really is.
It's stressful, frustrating. It's just like, you just think, even the crowd yesterday have started to sort of see it and realise that it's stressing everyone else out more than I think they said they do it just to try and unnerve the opposition so they don't know where they're going, but it's stressing our players out. It's like, for fuck's sake, just throw it to someone. I don't see any other team not having anyone to pass to, and it's like, for fuck's sake, mate, honestly, just my head in. It
almost seems like a sort of like a if all else fails tactic, because just before we equalised, or chasing the equaliser, it felt like there's a lot of Hail Marys, do you know what I mean? There was a lot of movement that it just was like, come on, are we really throwing up everyone up front sort of thing, or are we really using the throwings as the only tactic, or are we just hoping for corners now? Because again, there was moments where near the end where they just literally left the ball to go out, and it's like, well, are we just hoping for corners now? And if that's our if all else fails tactic, then we're in trouble, right? We're in trouble again. It's not sustainable. The sustainability of a team is the manager has to adapt. Not just himself, the actual formation, the actual team itself. He needs to be able to adapt that. And we can sit here and be like, oh, Guardiola, he only has like the sort of one playing style and tiki-taka and all that stuff. He adapted with that style. That was his main core sort of fundamentals of how he played. But then he added or, sort of took away from it. The years where he had no central striker after Aguero, he was playing with De Bruyne as a false nine, and he used his wingers in Mahrez, Sané, who else was part of his team, the guy that we had, Chelsea, Sterling. So he adapted. Even though he wanted the possession control, he still was able to move players around that, create spaces for the dangerous players to move in. But I just don't feel like we don't have the creativity, just echoing what Patrick Vieira said, we don't have the creativity and we don't have the dangerous players. Right? Tell me who our dangerous player is. And if anyone out there listening to this says Saka, right, you genuinely need to climb off Saka's dick. I have to put it that way because it's just becoming a joke now. But you have to climb off and just stop this madness. So just before I let you jump in, Stevie, there is that the screenshot that you sent me. the other day. So I'm just Bukayo Saka, 0 goals in last 13 appearances in all competitions. Just let that sink in for everyone listening and who's thinking Saka's going to be the guy. Just let that sink in, please. Right? And I don't even want to read the rest because it's just it's for sad reading.
It's worse, isn't it? Yeah.
So
no.
So yeah, sorry, go on. Yeah.
It's so frustrating, and I like you referenced there to Guardiola and how he's adapted. And the thing is with Guardiola, how I look at this analogy is Wenger and Arteta, right? So Wenger had the fluidity and he had the flair players like Guardiola's got now, and they play attacking football. But they've also got the ability to defend as well, like the Arteta teams. But with Guardiola's teams, he's got the combination of them both ways. Wenger just had the flair, but we were fucking terrible in defence, to be fair. We need a combination of that, and that's what Guardiola's got now. Well, he's building that. I know he has a few injuries and stuff like that, but he's got a gay and he's got a couple of years probably to come back. But overall, the nucleus of the team is built on, like, it's the spine, isn't it? We've said it, time and time again, and that's how teams win premierships and titles, etc., etc. It's because they have a great spine mixed, and they have like a sprinkling of stardust in there. And Man City, unfortunately, they've got everything. And that's where ultimately we'll fail again this year, because we haven't got that flexibility in the manager. He hasn't got that flexibility to say, right, I need more flair in there and I need a bit more fluidity from the back to the midfield to the strikers. He just plays one rigid way, and that is going to be our downfall, because he's inexperienced, and we've said it all along. He doesn't know the next step or how to change it. All he thinks, I'll just go and put Eze on and hopefully just, but no, he needs to nurture Eze. He got rid of him 1 year. He's one of our most creative, talented players, and he scores in his debut for, I know it's a different league, the French league, but so what? It's like someone who's probably given him the freedom to go and do what he wants. It's too rigid, and like you say, it'll come back, to haunt us because of the rigidity of our manager, and that's ultimately, unfortunately for us as fans, is not right, and it's not nice because we can see it. Yeah. What's your thoughts? It's evidence. It's evidence.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a debate that we've had for a long time, and I've always been, in favour of Arteta, and just always sort of saw him as not a revolutionary coach, because he's definitely not that, but I just saw him, bring and spark more life into us, and you sort of put a bit more faith into the manager because you see the progress sort of thing. But unfortunately, progress can only be so far before you actually have to achieve something. Then it just becomes like a tired effort, really, isn't it? Because what are you doing this for? Right.
Just interject again. Just quickly, what I'm thinking on. I said to it a couple of weeks ago that I think the team, the certain players have plateaued. The likes of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Trossard. I think those types of players have plateaued, and I think the manager has as well. I think that's their limit, and this is Arteta's limit.
Yeah. It's something that, to be honest, my dad's been saying for the past 2 years. He's genuinely been saying that. He's like, he has no more ideas. He doesn't know what he's doing, sort of thing. And I've always been, I've always been a fan of Arteta, so I've always supported him in that sense. But you get to see it, the eye test, unfortunately, is, you can't lie. It can't lie to you. You just see what he's doing or what he's not doing. And unfortunately, it's going to be another season where it's just going to be disappointment, and this is why I've said before, even if we do win something this season, next season it's not going to happen again, because the players are going to be tired, and they're going to be tired. The tactics are not going to be good enough again. So it just it's very fragile, very, very, very fragile. Our mentality and the sort of the sustainability of the team going forward, to be honest, because the look on Declan Rice's face yesterday just screamed, I am out of here, mate. And against Man United as well, obviously a team that's known for wanting him. I saw something yesterday where it's like, shit, there goes our Van Persie, man. There goes our Van Persie. As soon as they get him, that's them winning the league again, because they're not a bad team. They're not a bad team. Now they've got a decent... okay, decent coach. It's Michael Carrick in it, but decent.
Yeah, he won't be there.
Yeah, he probably won't be. But he's brought them together, and they're like at the top 4 now, or the top 5 or something.
Yeah,
like
the fourth. Yeah,
and that didn't take very long, did it? All it took was 2 wins. Right, against Arsenal, against City, that's it. They're back to top 4 again, and we've been harping on about like being top of the league. That could change in a matter of weeks. In a matter of 2 weeks, that could change, or a week. Again, we've got Leeds on Saturday. I think is it Saturday, 3:00. So we've got Leeds, and then City play. So if we lose that match, City guaranteed to win it, and we're back to 1 point.
Yeah.
It's God, it's disgusting. That's what it is. Let's just finish off on the match. And then obviously to make matters worse, Cunha came on 70th minute for Mbeumo, and 10 minutes later he scores, and he puts an end to the match. So, and I'll be honest. After that, I know that was the 87th minute, so it wasn't enough time anyway. But it was 14 minutes until the eventual end of the match, with the 7 minutes added on. So again, there was time to maybe get an equaliser, but I just didn't see enough in us. And looking at that goal that Marino scored, and I'll use quotation marks because it was a deflection at the end of the day, but I get it how they work.
Scramble.
It was a scramble, wasn't it? So not very convincing, and once I got that, they were on top, and I'll be honest, they probably could have got a 4th one as well. And
what did you think of the goal? Do you think it was a great strike, or do you think it was rare? Obviously, or do you think it was Gabriel? I mean, yes, I know couldn't you use Gabriel? But I'm saying use Gabriel. They always make this term like, they use the defender to curl it around. I don't think they intentionally do that. I think it's just spur the moment. Yes, I know he's a great player, Cunha, and he is capable of doing stuff like that, but it bounced before it went in the goal, didn't it? I'm sure it did, and I just thought, what's that? Was it? Should Ray have got that? Obviously, I know he's a good shot stopper, but I don't think he's the greatest, and I don't think he commands his box as well as he should. And to me, I don't think he's the best goalkeeper in the Premiership. I think he's maybe top 5 or something like that. But do you think a taller keeper might have got there, longer stretch? Even the Mbeumo goal, I thought. I don't know. Do you think it was just a great goal, or do you think it was a bit of a calamity from our defenders? And
I think I'd probably, if I had to put blame, it'd probably be on the defenders and not on Raya, to be honest. And I've just watched it there again, and I feel when Cunha took the shot, Gabriel was right in front of Raya's sort of line of sight. And that probably put him off a little bit, to be honest, because maybe he wasn't expecting that it was going to curl that much. So yeah, I'm going to chalk it to being a very good goal, to be fair. Even though I will 100% put blame on Gabriel, because obviously he should have closed down. And again, it's the second goal. Dogu was the same. He was left open in that space, and that was the Zubimendi space. That was the Marino space, and there was no one there again. So I just chalk it to a very good goal, to be fair, and from a good player. So I can't even be mad at that. Again, it was a prophecy, really, as soon as he came on. So, but honestly, Stevie, going forward, man, it's going to be a problem. It really is. Who's playing right now, by the way? Leeds Everton 1-0 Leeds. They've just scored.
Is it?
Yeah, they've just scored. So yeah. Could have been the chance. Again, it's still not over. Of course, it's not. But we've seen this before. We've heard this song before. We've seen this movie before. It feels like it's on repeat every year.
I mean, to me, you're on about obviously Gabriel and the defenders and stuff like that. I always think that we're in this position, right? We're top of the league, and we've got the chance to extend our lead. The players should be playing like it's the final game of the season, and if we win it, we've won the league. But it's not. It's that mentality. It's though, we'll eventually, pass the team to death and get a corner and get a deflected goal. There's no urgency. The defences, it's not like, right, let's all just work together. They have that huddle at the start of the match. You think, yeah, the team, and 30 seconds later they forgot that conversation that they've had, and it's like, hang on a minute, well, are you not defending this goal for your life and think to yourself, it's all that matters is winning this game? But it's not. It's like it is the mentality.
It is,
and if it doesn't change, it's over.
It is the mentality, and we've questioned it, like we said before, for the last 2-3 seasons, and it's just the evidence that's been laid out in front of us. So it's not even, again, I keep repeating it as well, but I know it's going to sound neg, but that's just the way that everything keeps playing out. And but yeah, I mean, look, do you have anything else that you want to add from the Man United match? Anything that sort of any other thing that
the only thing I want to say, if you want to like sort of round it up to bring it to a conclusion as such with the game. I don't know if you watched the post-match analysis from Keane and the likes. I mean, I know obviously you don't think of what Neville says as you take the pitch yourself, but I mean, all of them are saying that, all the pundits are saying, Arsenal are still the best team in the league. Arsenal are still the best in the team, but they're not playing like they're the best team in the league, are they? They're at the top of the league through obviously a lot of deflected goals, a lot of own goals, a lot of set piece goals, and the other teams not actually playing as well as what they probably could.
Yeah.
Like Liverpool, like Chelsea, City are playing a bit better now, but if City play anything like they're capable of, then they would have been 10 points clear again, like Liverpool. But we're not the best team in the league, regardless of what we're top of the league. Yes, we're top of the league, top of the Champions League. We're probably the best team in the Champions League, but we're not the best team in the Premiership on the way we play.
We've been a bit more consistent than the others, and again, I wouldn't take that as a compliment. To be fair, like we're the best team in the league, like you said. I don't think we are. Yes, we are, but because the other teams have not been very good. We've been the most consistent so far, and that's how Liverpool won it last season. They weren't the best team in the league; they were the most consistent team in the league. Again, there's still plenty of weeks to go, and it's not over yet, and I totally understand that. So as long as we can be a consistent team where we're not sort of, again, this Man United match could be an outlier. We've had 2 draws. We haven't really lost that many matches when you think about it. In the Premier League, this is loss number 3 now. Is it loss number 3 for us now?
Yeah. Villa, Liverpool.
Yeah. So again, it's not like we've lost many, and it's not like we've conceded massively. But again, to concede 3 goals, it's very uncharacteristic of this Arsenal team. But yeah, I just feel like we just need to be a bit more consistent. Definitely the best team when you compare it to the likes of Liverpool, the way that they've been this season, the way that Man City started the season, the way that Chelsea keep flipping and flopping, Man United the same, Tottenham obviously not even in the conversation or even in the top 10 conversation. So yeah, it's Aston Villa, obviously they were a threat at one point as well. So, but yeah, that's the only thing I would say, that the other teams haven't been as good as us. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we are the best team. The best team to sort of go and win it, because again, mentality. That's the massive letdown for us. That's our downfall. That's our Achilles heel. It's the mentality. We're not doing it. The players are not strong enough to sort of carry the team to victory week in, week out. There's maybe 1 or 2 players that can do that, like in a Saliba or maybe a Declan Rice in there, but the rest of them, they're just not up there at all. And sometimes it feels like we've got mediocre players, we've got mid-table players. That's what it seems like.
Exactly.
And looking at the stats, looking at the numbers, yeah, you could argue that that's what we have right now.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Steve, you go on, say that again, please.
Declan Rice, you're on about his passing. Now, technically, dead ball situations, there's probably no one better in the Premiership than Declan Rice.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but again, it's just it's not enough. He needs a team with him as well. He's not just enough to win. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's very good, of course, and I'm glad that we have him. But I just don't feel like he's the only one that can, I need other players to be around him as well. I need other players to contribute and help him and be at his best. Because if he has to cover 3 positions, for example, it doesn't matter how good of a passer he is, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it at the best of his ability. So yeah, and I don't want to use the word disappointment for Declan Rice, because definitely not. Far from it. He's a very good player. It's just a blip, but unfortunately, that blip came at the wrong time. So, and this is the problem as well, that our blips are coming at the wrong time. But yeah, look, like I said, he's not the only one, especially against Man United. Everyone was to blame for something or other, and especially our midfield was just absolutely non-existent.
Other than Declan Rice, as our stalwart,
Oh, you've gone again, mate. You've frozen again. Okay, unfortunately, we have lost Stevie to a very bad internet connection, and he does want me to tell you that his prediction is 3-1 to us, the way that he's written that out, I think. Yeah, 3-1 to us, and it's... I like the way he's thinking. Obviously, we do need to bounce back, and we're just hoping that it's going to be positive. It's going to be a positive reaction from Arteta and the team. So yeah, it all remains to be seen. His prediction's 3-1. I'm going to go with a 3-0. Actually, I don't think we're going to concede, and it is at Ellen Road. So the way that he's written that is he's written that as if Leeds are going to win 3-1, but I think he means Arsenal are going to win 3-1. Yeah, it is away from home, so do you know what? I will revise my my thing. I will say 2-0. I think it's 2-0 from me. So yeah, but look, obviously apologies about the connection right at the end. I don't know what happened, so we're going to try and figure that out for the next time we're on. And until then, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Stevie also thanks everyone for being here. Please like, subscribe. He'd love it as well. And we'll catch you on the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay alert.